Gosh, dang it, that frustrates me. You ever play those games where you lose, but you know you could have won if you'd have done a few things different, and maybe not. I mean, obviously, you do something different, your opponent might react different, but man, that's just, gosh. Sometimes I wish that I had a chance to redo those. This guy looks like he's prestiging through silver. Let's take a look at the map real quick. It's in Tokai Valley. Opponent is a journeyman leader. This guy's going to have all kinds of advantages here because he's got veterans. He's got, he won't be able to play any more retainers than me, but he's going to have better retainers. So to be honest, this guy's got all kinds of an advantage on me. You're better off playing against a 10-star players, these low ranks, not one of these prestiged ones, because you actually are going to have a lot harder time playing against a prestige player. Let's see, I'm going to get my Waka Raiders and my Lone Swords. Long Yari. I meant to upgrade this. Or did I upgrade him? Maybe I did. No, I'm just playing a retainer. So let's see, let's grab some more. I need to unlock Nodachi. I have to bring my monk cav here. I really don't have any good cav at this point. What I'll do is I'll bring a couple of monk cav and then some light cav. Quite a few light cav actually. They can kind of support my monk cav, stop any charges. So let's see. Got one spear unit. I need a couple of Yari Sams. Just grab a couple of vanilla units. So I'll take 2 Yari Sams. I need 2 more Katana Sam. So now I've got 4 sword units, 3 spear units. I don't really have any ranged component, so take a couple of Matchlock Ash. Maybe a Bow Samurai. Nope, that one's upgraded, can't afford him. I can probably afford a vanilla Bow Sam. Let's think about what this army would be good for. So I've got a decent infantry component. Got a fast cav component, and then a more of a defensive cav component with my monk cav. I've got some speed with the Yari Sam, infantry speed. Not sure if I really like this a lot or not, but we'll give it a shot. I've played some players from this clan before. Some of the ones I've played are quite good. I'm out of Gunner's Wrecked. Can't use it. I don't think there's any other hero units in here that would be of any particular value to me. Let's give this a go. We'll see how it goes. Can't win them all. Especially not in this position. At least I think my opponent has a huge advantage here. If you all disagree with me, you can tell me why, but I'm pretty sure that he has a massive advantage. Probably should have brought some attendant units. So I've got some strong infantry, but I don't really have any throwaway units. My opponent could have extended range matchlocks, extended range mounted gunners. He could have a lot of units here that would give me some serious trouble. So that's one of the reasons why I think you're at a disadvantage in a match against someone who's prestiging versus someone who's all the way up to 10 stars, and no matter what the prestige. So when you're playing as a lower star player and you get matched against someone who's prestiging, I think you're going to be at a pretty massive disadvantage. Because they still have all... Well, actually, I think they do lose their... They lose the retainers that you have to gain through the provinces. But they would still have their retainers that were, I think, random battle drops. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's the way it is. But heaven has thrown me some degree of luck here, and the melee dojo is closer to me than him, so that'll be helpful. Let's think about our unit groups here. I'm going to leave one of my Yari Samurai free to rush that melee. I'm going to leave my Waka Raider hidden on this hill, perhaps. Okay, so let's start grouping up the rest. I'm gonna hard group these guys here. Get my swords. I don't have quite as much spear protection as I'd like. Gonna hide one light cav over there. I'm not sure I've brought enough spears, to be honest. Well, we can change this slightly. I should have brought some attendants. My units are pretty poorly chosen here. Okay, this is about all I can do. I can try and protect them with light cav. Oh, I forgot my bow samurai. I'm feeling a little bit disoriented here, but set these guys out on open ground. Oh crap, I just gave away my light cav over here. That was foolish indeed. My opponent's making some Yari cav visible over here. Yari cav. Mounted gunners, great. He's got a fire cav, Yari cav, and a mounted gunner on that flank. And I would be wise to start walking my Waka Raider backwards. My only hope of defeating that mounted gunner is to either get lucky or to kill it with my own matchlocks. My opponent has not fielded a 125 range matchlock. I do not wish to let him get entirely behind me here. I have a numbers advantage in cav, so the only thing I can really hope to do cavalry-wise is to... my opponent's giving up both of the dojos, but maybe trying to isolate one of my forces. I'll gladly take both. Okay, I'm out of position here, and he's charging his mounted gunners. They are increased range. They're not going to be overly effective on that particular shot. And I got 3 kills. Cursed mounted gunners. Okay, my opponent has effectively given up both dojos. So I'm going to start to move my matchlocks to his flank. And I'll simply pull back with my main infantry body. Positioning wise, I'm not really sure what it is that my opponent's hoping to accomplish here. His infantry is now able to support his mounted gunners though, so any attack on them would be foolishness. I might be able to harass them with my bow samurai. Position-wise, I feel good that I have Quite an advantage. My opponent has to attack me at this point. I'm going to pull back from this cav fight. I don't need it, nor do I want it. I can't allow him to win a cav fight early. Okay, he's going to move his mounted gunners towards my infantry body to take some shots, no doubt. My bows have to reposition to fire, thank you very much, CA, which means that I won't get a shot. I think if anything, my only chance is going to be to try and put some pressure on in this flank, and then I can just kite away. I do have my
Our hidden units have been discovered, my lord!
Okay, let's get this party started, baby. Okay, I'm going to lose the cav fight, or I don't know what my opponent did with his cav, so I'm just going to quickly start collapsing over here. I am damaging his infantry quite badly. I'm going to pull some units around, try and sneak past and go after his mounted gunners. Got his general with one of my light cav. Turn that way to hopefully cut off some pursuit. All my cav is going to die, almost assuredly. Oh, I clicked rally before I was close enough to my men.
Our men are running from the battlefield.
Wow, that worked.
Display.
My opponent took some really poor positioning, and I made him pay for it. And that rear charge with my cav right here probably got his guys pretty badly beaten. He still does have mounted gunners on the field, though, which is basically enough men and ammunition to kill my entire army. So I'm going to use my light cav to run down his routing units. I want to collect my Matrock Ashigaru. Let's ungroup our units. My cav did far better than I thought they would. Those monk cav really paid for themselves there.
My lord!
Okay, the power bar has now dropped out of his favor. Yeah, my opponent really gave up the dojos there, and even though my guys were a little bit blobbed, hopefully you all saw some of what I did, which was over here I gained a key advantage. My Matchlock Ashigaru absorbed his volley, and then I charged him with my Yari Samurai, which are very quick, and then I was able to get his general, so that light cav and stuff, even though he had a cav advantage as far as quality, that light cav almost takes away his maneuverability because he has to protect those mounted gunners. I have no idea how my monk cav did as well as they did in that fight. I guess that maybe his units didn't get a good charge, and at that point with the sword dojo and the naturally higher melee defense of monk cav, it's quite possible that they did well. Plus I had the workshop, so my guys would have had more armor and melee defense. So I guess that kind of actually makes sense. I wasn't actually watching every facet of that battle, so it went better than I thought. as my guys were potentially quite low morale. I didn't even really use my general. I was just trying to keep him out of danger. I felt like, positionally speaking, my opponent was in a bad position, so I charged my infantry, had my long Uriash. Alright, YouTube, that my game froze at the end of that, so I figure I want to look at the replay on this one anyway, because it had some moments that I didn't really get to catch since I was controlling it live, and some things I'd like to talk about, and then also maybe learn a little bit more about what happened in that cav fight, plus show you the results of the fight. If there's any of the other fights that you want me to show you the replay on, I would, but I honestly didn't save the replay because I'm kind of dorky and I forget that stuff, but oh well, yeah, so I will show you this one though because it was in the auto-save, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Get this loaded up. This map is interesting. It really is an interesting map, so you don't really want to be on the flat ground, it seems like sometimes. But that's where the dojos are at. But then again, you know, these dojos can be captured from like basically within the woods too, so it creates an interesting dynamic in my opinion here. Let's take a look at what's going on. So let's first get a good look at my opponent's army. I'm gonna put it into a little bit of slow motion for here just for a second. Let's see. Take a look at his matchlock. So he was matchlock samurai, basically with some accuracy and a little bit of reload. And right behind them he had a Nagi samurai with attack and defense. It's level 4. Katana samurai with 2 attack. Vanilla katana samurai. Vanilla longsword. It's like katana samurai with 1 attack. And a katana samurai with 2 attack. So he's very sword heavy here. Very sword heavy, which makes him dangerous in melee, but not so much elsewhere. And then his cav contingent is actually very strong as well. Let's take a look at them. Sorry, I just unlocked the debug cam and I'm still kind of getting used to it. That's why you can see underneath the map there. Let's see, so he's got mounted gunner with 125 range. This is a level 8 mounted gunner. 40 reload, 55 accuracy. Let's see, looks like a level 6 fire cav. It's got a little bit of charge, melee, and defense. And then same thing on the Yari cav, level 6. So, qualitatively speaking, his Yari cav is quite good versus my monk cav, assuming it gets a good charge. It's got pretty solid attack, pretty decent defense, and a huge bonus for his cav. His fire cav is going to be the same, except even better. Plus, it's got extra armor. So let's take a look at where I'm positioning. So if you look at what I'm doing here, and of course you heard me doing this live, but now that I look back on it, I can talk to you a little bit about maybe why what I did was or wasn't a good decision. You can see that I can easily control my units here in the forest and easily defend them because they're all in a group. I kind of assumed the fight would take place down here, but my opponent chooses to go for the high ground and ignore the dojos. Sometimes whenever people see the workshop or the farmhouse, they won't get too interested in capping them. Either that or my opponent just did not want to face these 2 matchlock Ashigaru head on. That's quite possible. Plus I have a bow unit, which really does nothing in this battle. I'm not even sure why I brought the bow unit, to be honest. It's so hard to get shots with bow units. It's just not always worth it. So cavalry speaking, I brought the 2 monk cav, like I said. One of them is a veteran. It's got 1 attack upgrade, and the other one is just a vanilla, so it's got 12 attack. The other one's been upgraded, so it's got 15 attack. 15 attack is pretty sturdy for cavalry, and you can see there that I just capped the sword dojo and it went up to 17. Plus now I have a little bit extra charge bonus. So I have 17 attack plus 7 bonus versus cav, so I mean versus cavalry, that means my attack is basically like 24. And if you take a look at his cavalry, which is hidden in the wood, actually I can't take a look at it, but I'm thinking the Yari cav has the 15 bonus versus cav plus the 11 attack, so it actually makes our cav pretty equivalent. It seems that way, if I'm thinking about it. I'm not exactly sure that's how the game mechanic works, but if it is, then... But look at what's happening here. So I've got my opponent completely outmaneuvered. Plus, I just captured the dojos, so I do not have to attack. I have a range advantage with my bows. I have a skirmishing advantage because of my 2 matchlocks versus his 1. And I have a mobility advantage because of my 4 light cavalry versus his 2 highly vetted cavalry.
meant to ambush
which
us.
he pops out here, or I get close enough to see him. My light cavalry is going to have good scouting ability. So I see his cav, and I'm running away, just like I said in the battle, because there's no need for me to force an engagement here with his mounted gunners nearby, and with his infantry nearby to support. It would be foolishness for me to engage right now, because he would be able to support with his main line. Now here I think he makes a very big mistake. He gets greedy and runs for my swords. Well, I say greedy, I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying, he makes a run for my swords with his mounted gunners. That was risky, because I might have been able to potentially cut him off from here with my light cav, but obviously didn't happen. But my bows here, look, they're just now repositioned to where they could have fired, and then I have to click a new order for them to move out. I mean, foot bows are very hard to use. I think it should make it to where they can kind of turn and fire to the sides and stuff, and that would really help make them a little more feasible. Already bows, though, are so heavily nerfed by the forest and everything else that they're just hard to use. Like you saw in that fight against all that bow cab, I can get in the forest and pretty much eliminate the ability of his bow cab to do what they need to do. So my opponent is going in for a charge here. Let's put it in slow motion just one more time. Let's take a look at my monk cav. So now I've got the what do you call it, the workshop. So now I've got 10 melee defense, 4 armor, 17 attack cav. And his better cav, his fire cav, is 15 attack, 10 defense. So I match him in defense, beat him in attack. He beats me in armor, but I think I win again in morale. So that's kind of crazy, but if you think about, because of the dojos he let me capture, this Nagi Warrior Monk cav is actually better in an extended melee fight than his fire cav is right now, and for a whole lot less cost. And if you look at my non-vetted Nagi Monk cav, which should be around here somewhere, right here, it's almost as good, but not quite. Now, in a charge head-on, I'm pretty sure the fire cav would throttle my Nagi Monk cav, but as you know, things get kind of crazy. So he's coming in on all-out flank, and it looks like he has me outflanked right now. So I'm going to hold down the spacebar. Again, here's my flanking maneuver. Look, absorbed the volley, quickly went into rapid advance. Now his matchlock samurai are going to get run down, and then I clicked an attack order here, so my matchlocks are going to follow and shoot. And then I got my Wako Raider here that I'm going to bring around for a back charge. I quickly spread out my troops so that I don't get outflanked, and then I've got my long Yariash behind them, so that if the enemy troops start to move forward, they'll be really slowed down in the center. And then I've got this other Yari Samurai too that I'm going to rapid advance around the flank here, or at least get it up into the fight. So look at this. Matchlock's right in his back. So even though he has a better melee component because of the shrine and the melee dojo and the workshop, let's see, here's where the cav fight gets going. So look, again, here's where my mobility is going to pay off, because I can just bypass his cav and keep them busy. And then watch the charge real quick that these light cav are going to get downhill into the flank of a Katana Samurai, and then look at the guys just go rolling. Absolutely trashed that unit. That light cav just racked up 30 kills off that charge. That one light cav threw the entire infantry fight. And then here the morale penalty from the matchlocks was too severe and his men rout. They're routing with a lot of men left too. So being able to flank and maintain that mobility looks like huge here. I didn't even use my general, and I didn't even use those bows. So I tried rallying my troops, but I popped the rally too early. It was pretty stupid. Yeah. So my general does nothing in this fight, and my bow samurai does nothing in this fight. It was really all about the flanking. My matchlock Ashigaru can't really fire that fast, and in and of themselves aren't really a big threat. But given the opportunity to get some flank shots, or to just whittle the numbers out of a melee rush, that's why Matchlock Ashigaru can be effective. And of course, if you upgrade them and get their reload up decent and their accuracy up decent, they can be very dangerous. The morale is their drawback, obviously. They're very easy to rout, and sometimes they'll rout with many men left in a unit. Interesting. Yeah, so there it was all about the dojo. So I was able to use my Team Matchlock Ashigaru to basically just lock down this front. And then I had my light cav over here, and the point of that was if he commits coming after my matchlock Ashigaru, I fling my light cav out, and I'm going to hit his general or some of his swords or his matchlock. So use the terrain to your advantage. Notice that I had this main area locked down. I had a little bit of mobility on this side. I went all the way to the high ground over here, didn't sacrifice that to my opponent, and then I picked basically an area of flat ground to hold the main engagement. and then the woods would have protected me from very much matchlock fire because my matchlocks were down here. So had he turned his matchlocks on me here, the woods would have been the help there. So let's hit end battle and go take a look at the replays. And because the game crashed, I didn't get to get a vet unit out of this either. That was kind of frustrating. I love being able to get a new veteran unit, especially with this. I have very few veterans with this avatar. I haven't done any veteran farming, which I would recommend that you do if you're new to the game. I haven't done it, and I need to get the right veterans put together, but you can do a lot with vanilla units if you use them right, and if you have veteran units that you didn't upgrade right, they're almost just as useless as, you know, not having any veterans at all. Plus, I guess if someone plays World Weary against me, it'll be a lot less effect because I won't have as many veterans. So it's kind of weird to be in this position where I don't have very good retainers and stuff like that, but it definitely is fun to play and challenge myself with having a bow general. And the more I learn about the bow general, I learn that the bow general is really only good for one thing, and that's only if he gets the opportunity to do it. The bow general is only good at killing... wow, my longsword Ashigaru just cleaned house there. Holy cow. Those guys were effective. I guess with the workshop and the sword dojo, those guys became very effective. They got more kills than anybody else. Yeah, look at my katana samurai here. They were getting thrashed. Wow, yeah, my lone sword did way better. My katana samurai did good. These Yari samurai right here didn't do much, but they did good comparatively. These Yari samurai did pretty good. Not great. My Waka Raiders didn't have much time to fight. Interesting. I don't think my long Yari Ashigaru had time to do anything. No, they didn't lose a man. They were just kind of behind my line. So I guess if my Katana Samurai would have collapsed, he would have run into my long Yari. I think I got it into guard mode as well. This Matchlock Ashigaru was probably the one that was firing back at his Matchlock Samurai. And I'm guessing this is the one that fired into the back of the man. Look, almost no kills there, but that morale penalty played out. Definitely played out. And this really just honestly shocks me. How many men my guys lost, but how well they were able to help in that cavalry fight. And then plus, when you add up the little kills of my light cav, and I think obviously this light cav up here, look at this, what this one did. This is the one that went into the back lines of the enemy units. I think 161 kills. That is insane. Alright, interesting battle. Good game to my opponent. Hope you all enjoyed some of these live battles. I am kind of learning how to use the debug camera to better control my troops. So that I can get a little more micro-intensive in some of these matches and use some of the newer strategies that involve the modular armies. I'll keep working on this. Hope you enjoyed it. I will be back soon with more footage. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.